David, welcome to Floor Talk. It's great to have you on the show.
Thanks, Judy. Really appreciate the opportunity to be here today.
My pleasure. So I want to start off by talking about Cirba Solutions and its role in strengthening the domestic supply chain for critical battery materials.
Cirba Solutions is we're a great growth story, a company that's grown dramatically over the last few years. We've been in the battery recycling industry for over 30 years now, recycling all different types of batteries, whether it's batteries from your remote control in your device at home, cell phone batteries, but also now the larger batteries that we see on the roads today from your electric vehicles. So we get the opportunity to take those batteries and bring those materials back into our company, take and extract those critical minerals that are in there, like the lithium, the nickel and cobalt, and then put them back into the supply chain and really help close that loop and participate in that whole ecosystem of battery production and make sure that those batteries get reused over and over again.
And tell me, what challenges and opportunities do you see in scaling battery recycling in the US, and how is Cirba positioned to handle them?
Yeah, we just got to keep batteries out of landfills, right? I mean, that's the key thing, and that's where we come in, right? We can actually make sure that there's proper collection, proper transportation of those batteries to our facilities, and then again, taking that opportunity to recover the materials that are in those batteries. I think a lot of people think that, an EV is out there and there's a cost of an EV battery, but the materials in that battery can be reused over and over again to make a new battery multiple times. Lithium, nickel, and cobalt, it never evaporates, it doesn't go away. So we can recover that metal over and over for the next 50, 60 years and reuse it again for a new vehicle, which will drive down the costs and also make it easier for the consumer to buy vehicles in the future.
David, how is the rise of battery recycling affecting market trends and investor interest, particularly in lithium and critical materials?
When you look at lithium-ion batteries, there's over 450 gigawatt hours of battery capacity that's being installed in the United States today. That's a lot, right? I mean, again, a car has a small battery, obviously, compared to that. And that requires a lot of materials to be recovered. There's a lot of investors that are looking at this space saying, hey, this is a growth industry that's really just getting ready to take off. If you look at the demand for lithium or nickel or cobalt, any of those minerals that go into those batteries, the demand curves, the growth is 200-300% over the next 5 years. So a lot of investors are interested in that space. They're obviously invested in what we're doing at Cirba Solutions because we actually get to close that loop of critical minerals, right? And make sure that they don't end up back in a landfill. They don't end up somewhere overseas in another country we don't want them to be. And we can reuse those materials over and over again. So I think when you look at the investor excitement, there's a ton of investors that are really anxious to get in this space because it's a new industry right now. And they see the long-term growth potential of where we're headed and how we're electrifying our transportation system.
And what are the implications for commodity pricing and the financial performance of related industries? And tell me, what is the impact of foreign entities of concern controlling the pricing?
If you look at commodity pricing, a lot of these metals are traded on the London Metal Exchange and they're traded globally. But the key for the battery supply chain today is really to domesticate and localize those supply chains, right? And instead of having to depend on materials coming from all over places around the world, if you can domesticate a supply chain, you can actually lower your costs, right? And that lowers your prices of what the materials you have to produce. So as the United States and what the government's doing, what everybody's trying to do is build this ecosystem here in the US to where you help lower costs. Lower costs of those materials means lower costs of batteries, means lower costs of vehicles, right? So all this kind of flows down into all the way to the consumer's pockets in the end of the day. So having that localized supply chain really helps to balance that commodity pricing impact that you're seeing. If you have to depend on a foreign entity of concern, for example, for those materials, you're gonna deal with supply chain fluctuations. You're gonna deal with maybe lack of supply as well as much higher prices.
And finally, David, as battery recycling demand grows, do you see more investment opportunities opening up for companies like Cirba Solutions? Absolutely.
I mean, there's a lot of investors, like I mentioned, that are super excited about this industry. They want to figure out a way to get into the battery space, and recycling is kind of an offset of the battery ecosystem. So them getting into it serve as a great opportunity for them to look at companies to be able to invest in. It's a capital-intensive industry, right? Building these plants, the plants that we build are hundreds of millions of dollars. We're going to spend over $2 billion in the next 5 years and hire more than 500 people into our company, right? So more than triple the size of our company than we are today. So when you look at all those things going on, there's a lot of excitement and a lot of investor enthusiasm in trying to figure out what's the right investment, what's the right company like Cirba Solutions to invest in.
Well, David, it's been wonderful to talk with you. Thanks for joining me on Floor Talk today.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Have a great day.